Fairy Tales Corner. Interesting stories always at hand.
Chapter 1. Welcome Spring. As the last traces of winter faded away, the sun peeked out from behind the clouds, casting a warm glow over the land. The grass was turning green, the flowers were blooming, and the birds were singing sweetly in the trees. It was the beginning of springtime, and everyone was excited for the new season. In a small village nestled in the countryside, a group of children ran outside to play, giggling and laughing as they chased each other through the fields. They picked daisies, smelled the fresh scent of newly blossomed cherry blossoms, and watched the butterflies fluttering by. As the children ran and played, they noticed something new and wonderful in the air. It was the scent of spring, full of fresh grass and blooming flowers. They closed their eyes and breathed it in deeply, savoring the smell of renewal and joy. Soon, the village was buzzing with excitement for the arrival of spring. The baker made sweet hot cross buns, the florist arranged beautiful bouquets of daffodils, and the town square was decorated with colorful banners and balloons. As the sun began to set, the children gathered together to watch the sky turn a vibrant shade of orange and pink. They felt grateful for the beauty of springtime and the new beginnings it brought. Little did they know, there was a special visitor who was also excited for the arrival of spring, and he had some surprises in store for them. Chapter 3. The Easter Bunny's Secret. As the days grew closer to Easter, the children began to wonder about the mysterious Easter Bunny. They had heard stories about him and his magical abilities to hide eggs and bring treats to good children, but no one had ever seen him before. One day, as the children were playing in the fields, they stumbled upon a hidden burrow in the ground. Curious, they peered inside and saw something they could hardly believe. It was the Easter Bunny, surrounded by baskets of eggs and colorful candies. The Easter Bunny was surprised and a little embarrassed to be caught, but he soon realized that the children were kind and curious, and he could trust them with his secret. He told the children about his role in Easter, and how he traveled all over the world to hide eggs and bring joy to children. He showed them his special egg painting techniques and his secret stash of chocolates and candies. The children were amazed and thrilled to have met the Easter Bunny and to be let in on his secret. They promised to keep his identity a secret and to help him spread joy and happiness on Easter Day. As they said their goodbyes, the Easter Bunny hopped away, leaving behind a trail of glittering eggs and a feeling of joy and wonder in the hearts of the children. Chapter 4. A Special Gift. As Easter Day approached, the children's excitement grew to a fever pitch. They couldn't wait to wake up on Easter morning and see what treats and surprises the Easter Bunny had left for them. But for one little girl named Lily, Easter meant something more than just treats and fun. She had recently lost her beloved grandmother, and she was feeling sad and alone. On Easter morning, Lily woke up to find a beautiful Easter basket waiting for her, filled with all sorts of goodies and treats. But there was also a special note from the Easter Bunny, telling her to follow the trail of eggs outside. Lily followed the trail of glittering eggs, and to her surprise, she found a beautiful garden filled with blooming flowers and bright colors. In the center of the garden was a small statue of an angel, holding a heart-shaped stone. Lily felt a warm feeling in her heart, and she knew that this was a special gift from her grandmother. She knew that even though her grandmother was no longer with her in person, she would always be watching over her and guiding her. As Lily walked back to her house, she felt a sense of peace and comfort. She knew that Easter was not just about treats and fun, but also about hope and love, and the feeling that even in the darkest of times, there is always a light shining somewhere. Chapter 5. The Easter Egg Hunt. On Easter morning, the children woke up early and rushed outside to see what the Easter Bunny had left for them. They found a trail of glittering eggs leading them through the fields and into the woods. The children followed the trail eagerly, their baskets clutched tightly in their hands. They laughed and played, enjoying the spring weather and the sense of adventure. As they reached the end of the trail, they found themselves in a clearing, surrounded by trees and bushes. And there, in the center of the clearing, was a giant Easter egg, decorated with all sorts of colorful designs and patterns. The children were thrilled, and they rushed forward to see who could get to the egg first. They searched high and low, through the trees and under the bushes, looking for hidden eggs and treats. As they searched, they found all sorts of surprises: chocolate bunnies, jelly beans, and even a few special golden eggs with extra special prizes inside. In the end, the children were exhausted but happy. They had found all sorts of treasures and treats, and they knew that Easter was truly a magical and special time. As they made their way back home, their baskets filled to the brim with eggs and candy, they felt a sense of joy and contentment. They knew that no matter what challenges came their way, they would always have the memories of this special Easter day to cherish forever. Chapter 6: Easter Celebrations. After the Easter egg hunt, the children returned to their homes, eager to continue the celebrations. Families gathered together to share a big feast, filled with delicious foods and treats. Lily's family prepared a special meal in honor of her grandmother, and they shared stories and memories of her life. Lily felt comforted by the love and support of her family, and she knew that her grandmother was with her in spirit. As the day wore on, the children played games and sang songs, enjoying the joy and happiness of the day. They decorated eggs and made crafts, and they even put on a small play about the story of Easter. In the evening, the families gathered together once more to light candles and share in a special Easter ceremony. They sang hymns and read passages from the Bible, celebrating the resurrection of Jesus and the hope and joy that Easter brings. As the night drew to a close, the children were tired but happy. They knew that this had been a special day, filled with love, hope, and joy. And as they drifted off to sleep, they dreamed of all the adventures and magic that the next Easter would bring. Chapter 7: Saying Goodbye to Spring. As Easter came to a close, the children knew that it was time to say goodbye to spring. They had enjoyed the warm weather and the sense of adventure, but now it was time to prepare for the summer months ahead. The children helped their families put away their Easter decorations, carefully packing up the eggs and bunny figurines until next year. They took long walks through the fields and meadows, enjoying the last of the spring flowers and the sweet smells of the season. As they said goodbye to spring, the children reflected on all the adventures they had experienced. They thought about the joy of the Easter egg hunt, the sense of hope and love that came with the holiday, and the special memories they had shared with their families and friends. They knew that even though spring was coming to an end, they would always carry the spirit of Easter in their hearts. They would remember the magic and wonder of the season, and they would look forward to the new adventures that awaited them in the coming months. With a sense of gratitude and appreciation for all that spring had brought them, the children said their final goodbyes to the season. They knew that even though it was time to move on, they would always cherish the memories of this special time of year.
Thank you for watching Fairy Tales Corner channel. If you like us, please subscribe and like the video.